everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is the first video out of a series of videos that I'll be creating. I'll be sharing with you everything that I have tried out and I believe it's worth sharing. So for today's agenda, what we would do is we will create a mutual funds, a rather index mutual fund scanner uh, app. It will involve a lot of steps, and I'm going to be using Cursor extensively for this. It's not vibe coding per se, but I'll be using the amazing tools that Cursor brings with it, the different models, the MCP setup, and let's see how much we can achieve with this. Okay, talking about the problem statement, if you look at this, people in India might be aware of the screen. This is ticker tape, which gives you some kind of an information about the different mutual funds that we have. There are multiple screeners. You can, uh, apply your different filtering criteria to decide the best mutual funds for you. I'll be focusing on index mutual funds here. And my whole intention here is like every quarter, I want to decide that which is the best index fund that I need to invest in. That should I be doing any kind of rebalancing there, or should I continue investing? So to take that particular decision, there was some manual effort involved. So this screener gives you, over here, I have created the screener, but I have kind of filtered out the equity index fund category here. And I have sorted this in a descending order of AUM. There are different parameters based on which I would want to, have this kind of calculation. So say my expense ratio takes up around 80% of weightage and my tracking error takes up 20% of weightage. So based on that kind of a calculation, I want to come up with a script that can, give me the top 5 mutual funds that I can be investing in. So this is the whole problem statement that I have. Now, how would I do that? So one way here is so the exporting facility is only available to Pro, and I don't have a Pro license, so I cannot export this. So how do I bring this information all over there? I'm going to be using browser MCP for that. So on Cursor, I have installed the browser MCP. So this is the browser MCP that I'm using. So this comes with a browser extension, so you can connect your browser screen with Cursor, and it could be able to perform a bunch of actions. I'll be linking this in the description. And this is the extension that it comes with when I connect so I'll go to this in the later part. But if you look at how do you set up this MCP server, it is very simple. I'm using Cursor. So this is the only setting that you need to add. So all you have to do is add the new MCP server. Currently mine is already added, else you would be just adding that code here. That's it. And you enable this, the browser tools are enabled. So if you could see, there are a bunch of browser tools that it has. There is navigate, go back, and a lot of these things. So it can also take screenshots. Screenshots is what probably you'll be using here. But yeah, this is about browser MCP. Now, the way I want to approach this is I don't want to, just jump into Cursor and ask it to do a bunch of tasks. I want it to be a structured approach wherein at every point there'll be some kind of uh, validation step involved. Right. So for that, I prefer creation of a prompt template, and this prompt template is something that would be given to cursor itself for actually executing my task. So let's start building this prompt template now. So this is an empty project that I have right now. I'll close the setting. I'll take agentic mode. For prompt template creation, I would prefer Gemini. I have found that this does a really good task in all textual related stuff. So yeah, this is my personal opinion. Or you could use the latest model of Claude. Claude Force Sonnet is also something that is very promising. I love using it for coding purposes. But for this, we'll be using this particular prompt Gemini model. Okay, now let me give it some information. I want to create other the size of this so that it is prompt template in a file called instructions.md in the current folder. It should perform the following task, or rather, it would be fed to AI, would be fed to AI in future to perform the task of index mutual fund selection. Okay, now, so the first step that would be is the prompt template should clearly indicate the steps and the validations involved in each step. Unless the validation is successful, we do not proceed. Do not explicitly ask, we restrict the AI from proceeding. Okay, so this is a very important step, which I found to be really useful when we define these kind of prompt templates. This is more like a closed loop prompting, wherein the AI model in its agentic mode will ensure that certain things are already done instead of you asking it to do it, and the overall reprompting that is involved in it kind of gets reduced. Okay, so now step one is going to be first we need to get the information from ticker tape, right? So ask the AI to visit this particular URL. This is my screener that I have created using MCP browser MCP. So this is the MCP server that we are using. This is how you would, explicitly instruct to use a specific type of MCP. So if you could see this, rather MCP tools. Browser MCP is the name. So MCP underscore browser MCP, that is what you would that is a general pattern in which the cursor would understand that which exact MCP it needs to use. Currently, in my system, I just have one MCP server, so there could be cases wherein you have multiple, and cursor kind of gets a little confused as to which one to use if there are conflicting types of MCP servers. So this is better to give it exactly what it needs to use. So first you would visit this. Find out the top, say, 20 mutual funds listed. If you need to scroll to get the top 20, do that. Once all top 20 are viewed, uh, pick up all the information like AUM, uh, tracking error, expense ratio, etc., and dump it in a JSON file named top index mutual fund dot JSON. Okay. So getting all that information. So all of this information my system will do. I don't need to give it. This is my first step. Once I have found out all of that information, now step 2, create a Node.js script which uses the above information and gives a rank to each of those mutual funds using this formula. So I'm going to give it the formula as well. This is the formula that I want. So 80, or rather I'll not give it the formula. I'll just using this ideology, give a ranking, give a rank to each mutual fund such that we give 80% weightage to expense ratio and 20% to tracking error. Now, first validate. First validate the formula with the user. Do not proceed. Do not proceed unless the user gives a go ahead. Okay. One, you get a go ahead, apply the formula to the about 20 mutual funds and create a new JSON file ranked index mutual fund.json, which sorts the above list about list in ascending order of rank. Okay, now my step 3. With this, I kind of get my rank. Now my step 3 that I have is going to be create a simple React app to display the top 5 mutual funds with its relevant data. Okay, so this is roughly what I want to achieve. As you can see, I have clearly given it steps that I want to do. Right? Instead of just asking it to do it randomly, let's see what this does. Now, yeah, one thing, ensure that you only create the prompt template or prompt template that is the instructions.md file and do not execute any of these steps right away, right now. Okay, let's see in the thinking mode. Developing the prompt. This is one of the best ways that I've felt that you can use cursor for, because this clearly highlights the steps and this makes it more deterministic as well, in my opinion. So if the same thing has to be done by someone else, they just run this particular prompt template file, basically ask cursor to execute this, and you would be sorted. So you would not see different kinds of outputs for different folks. Let's see what it has generated. And what it also beautifully does is it clearly highlights the things which are important, which the AI should not miss. And when we try to do it ourselves in a normal, natural language, we tend to miss out those important words, and because of which AI kind of, behaves in a different way. So this is really great. Let me see what it has done. You must follow each of these steps sequentially. Do not proceed. Perfect. So use the browser tools to visit this particular URL. Okay, it did not clearly mention that it needs to use the MCP. We will modify this. Let's start building that. Modify the prompt. Explicitly mention the browser MCP, that needs to be used. Okay, this is okay. Top 20 funds, each of the funds, extract the fund name, AUM, expense ratio, tracking error, perfect. Store all of this information in a JSON file. It clearly highlighted with JSON file. This is good. Now, this is the validation step that we mentioned, right? So unless and until the step is completed, it is not going to go ahead. So first it will check that this is being created. This exactly contains all of this. Perfect. Now create a Node.js script that will process the data from this, proposing the ranking formula, lower expense ratio. So it has kind of devised that particular ranking formula as well for us. And perfect. Present the proposed to the user, ask the user to explicit approval. Perfect. Apply formula to sort by the validation ranking, created a ranking JSON file. This is great. Now this is a step two completed. Now you create, it is making use of create React tab, which I'm not that fond of, but for the sake, it's okay. We'll use that. The React app will create this, display the top down. Okay, this looks solid. I think this is the only thing that I would ask. Maybe I can also mention a note to the user before starting that whether they have started the browser MCP on the page of the screen. Okay, so also at the beginning, ask the user if they have started the browser MCP. What's a mistake? Sorry about this. Browser MCP on the ticker tape screener page. Only after confirmation we proceed with step one. Let's see. Okay, it is modifying my file. Okay, it has done this. So, right. So this is the prerequisite and a step one starts it. Perfect. This is all I want. I'll accept this. And now our prompt template is ready. It has been refined the way we want it to. Now let's actually start the implementation part. I'll open up a new tab. I don't want to, interfere with that part of it in case this output of that instructions.md is not that suitable for us. We want to tweak it. So this tab would remain open and I can tweak it and make it here. Okay, so that is the approach that I try to follow. So let me actually start the browser MCP here. Okay, so it is connected to this particular tab out here. Now let me go here. So I would ask it that implement instructions.md. I'll I'll actually select Claude for Sonnet. I prefer it that way. All right, let's hit it. It should actually be asking me the confirmation whether the browser MCP has been connected. So yes, it is doing, it is waiting for my response. I have already connected it, so I'm going to say yes. This is so great. You have created a set of steps for yourself and it is going to execute it exactly the way. So if you could see, it is called the MCP tool. It is navigating. All right, it found the 20 funds that it wanted. It didn't need to scroll or do anything. It is creating the top index MF JSON file that as we had instructed it to. Here we are at this step. Okay, let me check. Okay, look at this. It is doing the validation, confirmed. Now it can proceed to the next step. But before that, it has proposed this formula to me, which seems good. Expense ratio 0.8 and tracking error 0.2. This seems fine to me. Do you approve? Yes, I do. Meanwhile, I'll just check if it is UTI Nifty 50, HDFC, ICICI. Yeah, looks fine to me. Even the AUM, expense ratio, tracking error. Yeah, this is good enough. It is implementing this script now. It has run the script. Mm, Ranked mutual funds. So here now Nifty 50 index fund is on top. Nippon, Bandhan. This is what it has come up with. Let me now verify if this file has been created. The file ranked. Yeah, this is what we wanted. Has it taken 20? Yes, it has taken 20, working perfectly fine. Validation, it is confirming that that new file has been created. This is a final file. Now it is going to that particular step of creating a React app. So as you could see, I didn't have to intervene much in between because I had created an elaborate prompt template. Do that. This is taking a while. Okay, installed. It is copying that file, the rank index file, into the app right now. It is creating an app.js to actually render. Check which version. Okay, package JSON. Testing. Okay, it has installed testing library. This React 19 is what it is using. All right, good enough. It is using a basic CSS method. I would have rather wanted it to use Tailwind or something like that. But anyway, for the purpose of this application, we are good enough. We will improve this later. Maybe I should have given it better instructions on how the React app needs to be created. It would have performed better then. Okay, it is trying to navigate. All right, I have that in my different screen. I'll just pull it up here. All right, this is what it has created. How much time did it take us? Just a few minutes, I believe. This is pretty impressive. And all of this is completed. So you could see there were so many steps that were involved with because we had given it a detailed instruction and validation points at every step. It has really performed better like in one shot. So yeah, this is all for today. Let me know in comments. How do you feel about this experiment? Do you have any more suggestions that we could incorporate here? Thank you so much and keep coding.